Okay, for my last post of the night, I want to talk about what went on in the past 4 years. The more that I study this, and I understand people's concerns about Donald Trump. I understand he didn't concede the election. I understand January 6th. I understand the sexual assault allegations he's been convicted of civilly. I understand what people's concerns are there. But let me tell you, the more that I dig into this Joe Biden administration, Joe Biden was not running the country for the past 4 years. And the fact that Bill Clinton and Barack Obama went to fundraisers and knew that he wasn't okay and didn't immediately tell him to step down, and then as patriots themselves come out on the news and place pressure on him and say he is not fit to be president of the United States. If I was a patriot and I saw the way that he was, I would go on CNN or one of the news channels and say he is not fit to be president way before it got to where it got to, and I wouldn't be doing fundraisers with him at $100,000 a plate just so I could win and be part of the Democratic establishment. As a patriot, with what went on with baby formula, I mean, the border, when I say that there were hundreds of thousands of children being sex trafficked and Joe Biden leaving an open border on purpose so that Democrats could gain control with chaos, with basically chaos at the border. Inflation up 9%. Him just not knowing what he's doing. The corruption of his family. Selling foreign influence around the world. There needs to be an independent investigation of what happened over the past 4 years and how it was allowed to happen, and how nobody inside that White House came out and said, this is not okay. This guy is not running the country. And there's not one person in that White House with guts enough to come out and say that this guy is not capable of running the country. He's going through severe mental decline. His family is leading him around like he's a puppet on strings. And I want to ask everybody a question tonight. If you're raising children right now, let's say that you have a 5-year-old right now, do you feel better now that Donald Trump is in charge, talking about building an Iron Dome, shutting down the border, leading an AI program that's going to protect you against the Chinese and the Russian? I'm asking you the question. If you have a 5-year-old in your house right now, and you know they're starting kindergarten, and you know what's going to happen over the next 18 years till they get through college, do you feel better about Donald Trump being in the White House or Joe Biden? I want you to ask yourself that question. This guy did not know what he was doing, or even worse, in some cases, I think that he did know what he was doing. Having policies of open borders, and there are clearly people in the Democratic Party that are evil. They are evil, and what they want is that they want you dependent on the government. They want you on welfare. They want you ignorant. They want you apathetic, so that the news channels that they control can give you this information and know that you're not going to question it and say that Donald Trump is the threat to democracy. I mean, there has got to be an investigation, because what went on over the past 4 years with the weakest leadership I've ever seen. I mean, they say that James Buchanan or Herbert Hoover were the worst presidents ever. I'm not sure. James Buchanan, maybe. He didn't do enough to stop the Civil War and stop slavery. Herbert Hoover, I don't know. He didn't do enough to stop the Great Depression, but Joe Biden at least is the second worst president of all time, and it can never be allowed to happen again. This can never be allowed to happen again, and people need to ask Barack Obama and Bill Clinton the pointed question next time they do the interview with them. How on earth did you allow this to happen if you're a patriot? If you care about this country like you said, and you knew what was going on in the White House, you knew how dangerous it was with inflation and with the border, with the kids being sex trafficked, 11.7 million people coming over 2 years ago, and you don't go on a major news network as a patriot of this country and say that this is crazy. And then you're going to fundraisers with them and letting it happen for 4 more years. Well, this just can never be allowed to happen again, is what I'm saying.